Good day, everybody. I know it's been a while, but I have not been able to get this video out, but I have time today to record this, so let's get it done. Um, when we're talking in triple meter, we're talking meters that are divisible by 3. All right. Most of the time, my other video dealt exclusively in duple meter, where everything's divisible by 2. Okay. And the same rules apply um, when you're playing any kind of music is you have to subdivide. All right. And what I mean by subdivide, when I look at this top one here, let's see if I can get that nice and big. Okay. I put ta and then I put the te, ti, ta, te, ti, ta, te, ti, ta, te, ti. Okay. So even though I'm thinking ta, I'm thinking ta te ti ta te ti ta te ti ta te ti. I'm thinking that. So I'm going to get my hands doing the ta te ti. Oops, that's really big. That's really loud. Let's turn this down. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. Ta. My finger is doing ta te ti ta te ti ta te ti ta te ti. Okay? So even though I'm playing it, I'm not zoning out on the note and just playing it and just guessing where it is. There are other notes hidden in there. And so if we look at this and we go down here, we have them all written out where I go ta te ti ta te ti ta te ti ta te ti. And the nice thing is, as before, ta is always your downbeat or is assumed to be your downbeat. Say hello to the dog in the back. Asher, stop. Anyway, we have ta te ti ta te ti ta te ti ta te ti. If I take each of these and cut them in half, I get taka teki tiki taka teki tiki taka teki tiki taka teki tiki. All right, and I can combine them and do them as many ways as possible. I'm not going to show you all of them because I'm assuming if you've gotten to this point, you can probably do that yourself. Okay, so I'm thinking in here, this third one here, I'm still thinking ta te ti ta te ti, but ta and te are combined in this. They're together in this quarter note. So I'm thinking ta te ti ta ti ta ti ta ti. Okay, so that's me vocalizing them all, but I can do ta ti 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 ta. Okay. Now some people will say, "Well, that feels like a swing." It is not a swing. Okay, I'm not going to go down that roll. It does have the feel of a swing, but it does not swing. It's not ta ti ta ti ta ti ta. That's something else. This is actually written out and measured out, whereas swing is a style that is usually not written out and more of a feeling. Okay, so let's look at this last one here, where I got tate, 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 tate. And so in my head, I'm still thinking tate, 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 tate. So I'm going to make that T really, really soft. Tate, 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 tate. Okay, tate, 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 tate. Okay, so that means even though I'm not just zoning out, I am thinking in these up here, ta te ti, and I'm just tying these together, or tying these together to get this. Okay, so if I really wanted to show you here, let's do window, and I want my main tool palette, and I want my simple entry palette. There we go. Okay, so if I wanted to say this, okay, I'm going to get rid of this. This is the same as okay. This rhythm and this rhythm are the same. Okay? They are the same thing. This one just shows all the divisions of the notes. Okay, so ta, ti, and I would do this as ta, ti. Same thing. If I really wanted to break it down, which I'll break it down for you right here. Okay, so I could put ta, and I'm going to put the te in parentheses. T, ta, te, ti. Okay, that's just showing you that the te is this one. Okay, it's still there. You're just not saying anything. So ta ti, ta ti, or ta ti ta ti ta ti. Okay, it's a really good exercise in your if you're having issues with rhythm, is to take it apart, get a piece of paper, or your notepad, or your whatever music program to do it, and do this just to make sure that you're adding them all up, because too often people, and I made this mistake too, go off and they just play it by feeling and whatnot, and you know what, that'll get you so far until you get to something that you can't feel your way through. um, there is a lot to be said by feeling the rhythm and whatnot, and I'm glad you can, but I want you to be able to count it too. So here we go. Let's put in the marks here. So let's do ta, te, and then the T is going to be in parentheses, ta, te, T. There we go. So this would be ta, te, ta, te, ta, te, ta, te. I am putting my tongue on that very last T just to emphasize the subdivision. So let me tap my fingers. Tate, 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 tate. All right. Now here, okay, this would be, I'm still thinking these three, or if it's really, really slow and whatnot, I might to subdivide taka tiki tiki, taka tiki tiki, taka tiki tiki, taka tiki tiki, depending on the tempo. You decide what you need to do. All right. So this down here, okay, I'm still thinking ta ti ti ta ti ti ta ti ta ti ti. Okay, and I'll just gonna illustrate this one. So I'm gonna take this one apart. Ooh, goodbye. And we're going to tie a bunch together. There we go. Okay, so this rhythm here, and this rhythm here are the same thing. And I'll even put the counts in for you. It's still going to be ta, and then I'm going to put te, ti, ta, te, ti. Now, you could also do this as another one. Another way you can do this. I like the tas because tas always just tells me downbeat in general. There is a numerical way you do that, and I can show that to you right now. So if I wanted to, let's see, well, let me do it. There we go. And I should be able to, good. I could put in 1. There. That would be it. It would just be 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? You could do it like this. I could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I just like the French time names because it takes the numbers out of it, because numbers can get confusing. Then if I wanted to do this one with numbers, it would be 1E and 2, 1E and 3, 1E and 3. Or I would say 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 3, 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. All right, so you can think of the numbers. I'm just putting the numbers in here because some people like the numbers. Um, the main point that I make is whether you or your teacher adopt one, you find one and you stick with it. Okay, so I always ask my students which ones they prefer, and that's the one that we use. And see, I like this one here on here because it shows that it's a long one. Ta 1 3 1 3 1 3, and this would be 1 2. Oops, 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Oh, Lars, I can't believe you did that, but we're gonna fix it. This just goes to show you that we all make mistakes. So this should be 4 5 6. Now, technically, you could do it because is your conductor going to know? No, they're not going to know or probably care how you count it. But for the sake of being correct here with the numbers, this is being 1 3 4. Okay, absolute rubbish there. I was recording and then somehow hit stop record. I know what I did. I hit my keyboard and I hit stop on this Apple slide bar thing. Okay, so anyway, I went back through and I put all the numbers in here so you can see it. And then we're going to do some practical exercises because this is all just like, counting basic rhythms and whatnot. And here we go. So I'm going to get my little tapper going. So I'm going to top the top one. And even though I'm singing a long note, I'm thinking this 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 ta ti ti ta ti ti, or taka tiki tiki taka tiki tiki taka tiki tiki. I'm thinking that while I'm playing. It's called subdivision. Okay, so we're not guessing, not just saying, well, it's a long note, I'll just stop whenever. No, we're putting it in the exact spot. So here we go. 1 2 3 ta ti. Oh, my bad. Oof. 1 2 3 4 ta ta ti ti ta ti ti ta ti ti ta ti taka tiki tiki taka tiki tiki taka tiki tiki taka tiki ta ti ta ti ta ti ta ti ta te ta te ta te ta te. Let's skip down to the last two here. All right, and I'm gonna go 1 2 3 4 5 6 ta 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 ti ti ta taka tiki ti ta tiki tag tiki. I messed that up. Taka tiki ti ta tiki ti. There we go. Ta te ti ta taka tiki ti ta tiki ti. There we go. That is correct. All right. So subdivision. Play long, think small. Play long, think small. All right. And let's see if I can do these with the numbers. So I'd think of 1 2 3 4. I say 1 ta take t. Here we go. 1 2 3 4 5 6. 1 2 3 4 5 6. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and okay. It's the same reason. I prefer the ta te tees. I think I've said that about 100 times, just because ta is the downbeat, and we're not having to mess with numbers, because the numbers are harder to roll off your tongue, especially when you get to 7s and 11s and stuff like that. All right, let's go over to here and make sure I don't turn off the recording. Good. Okay. So I'm going to sing this for you, and then I'm going to show you how to break it down. The north wind doth blow, and we shall have snow. And what will the robin do then? Poor thing, he'll sit in a barn to keep himself warm and hide his head under his wing. poor thing. Okay, so if I wasn't a native speaker, or I hadn't heard the song, I don't know, a couple thousand times when I've done it with children. Um, what if I had to break this down? This is exactly what I would do. Okay, I would think I would figure out where's the ta, where's the te, where's the t, and I would break it down. T ta te t ta te t ta te t ta t ta te t ta te t ta t ta t ta te t ta te t ta te t ta te ta te t ta te t ta t ta. And it says tad at the bottom. Let me fix that. It's just annoying. Oops, need the right tool for the job. Boom. Top there. All right. So once I've written those out, and if you notice on here, most of these are all ta te ti, ta te ti, ta te ti. So the rhythm isn't particularly hard at all. It's not complicated. There's not a lot of syncopation or anything in this song. So then you have to break down to the pitches. And I'm going to make a separate video about that on sight singing and playing your saxophone in tune and whatnot later. But so break down the rhythm, and then you realize that it's really not that hard. I mean, the notes. I mean, if you're a new player, this might look scary, but it's really not that bad because the rhythms, you already know these rhythms. You got ta te ti, ta te ti 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times in a song that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 measures long. So 5 of the 8 have the same measure, the same rhythm. All right, and when you see that, here's a little hint for you. Once you can see that, you'll realize there's only a fixed number of rhythms that a composer can possibly write. I mean, barring some weird 20th century people who just ignore rhythm, just write whatever they want, and we're not going down that road today. Okay, so I wanted to do one that had some taka-tiki-tikis in here, and this one has a little bit of syncopation. Had a little rooster. Yes, this is 2 8th notes and a 16th note tied together here. Okay, so I'm going to sing this. Actually, I'm going to go from the beginning. So I'm going to go ta, ke tiki ta, te tiki ta, te ti ta, ta, ti ta, te ti ta, ti ta, ta, tiki ta, te ti ta, ke tiki ta, ti ta, te ti ta, te ti ta, te ti ta. Let's put the last ta on here. Got cut off. There we go. All right. So you go through and you can write these in under your music. And what I actually do is would recommend making a copy and doing this. And then, because, your sheet music, it's going to be marked up with everything, but I would really not want you to be performing off a piece where you had to write in all the counting. If you have to write in all the counting for your performance, it's probably too hard. Okay, if you're using it as a way to learn, make a copy, put in the counts, sing it to yourself, and then go play it. Okay, make sure you can sing it. If you can sing it, you can play it. If you can sing it, you can play it. I cannot emphasize that enough. All right. So, Dot had a little rooster, and my rooster pleased me. Fed my rooster 'neath yonder tree. That little rooster went cock-a-doodle-doo, dee-doodle, 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 dee-doo. Such a meaningful song, and if you know the song, they keep adding like cats, and dogs, and horses, and things, and the song just keeps getting longer and longer and longer. Anyway, so I hope this helps with your ability to better understand and break down triple meter. Again, if you want a more in-depth analysis on how you get here, I did one on duple meter where I explained everything under the sun, and I'll put that link in the description. But the mantra is when you get a piece of music, you should be able to sing it. Now, there's a caveat there. If you are playing pop music or jazz or just something that you wrote, most people don't care. Okay? Only the most discriminating ear is going to say, well, that's not the right rhythm because that's just pedantic and those people are boring. Um, but if you're going to be playing with people, you need to all agree on what all these little squiggly lines and symbols mean. So that's why um, when you're playing in a section or you're playing in an ensemble, you know, be the one who is confident on how the music actually goes instead of just following the playing follow the leader or playing well it feels this way. Be the one who knows how it does because someday your conductor is going to ask you to play or you're going to have that audition. You got three people in the section and the solo part needs to be rendered perfectly. You're going to be the one who knows how to do it because you can read the actual music, you can sing it, and if you can sing it, you can play it. If you can sing it, you can play it. Did I say that? If you can sing it, you can play it. All right. You have a nice day, and I hope this helps you. Um, if you would like lessons on saxophone, music theory, anything like that, link is in the description. Have a nice day.